Hello, welcome to this video tutorial. I'm going to try to go through the process of implementing an invitation mechanism to my prototype website because this is still not ready for production, but I want to start registering users on the website, but I want these users to be a specific people that I know they are going to use it with careful and they are not going to be very pleased with it. So this is now my prototype website. Right now the functionality is not relevant for this tutorial, but we can see that we have the sign up, and if I put the name and the email and the password, I will get it inside of the website and I will have full access to all the functionalities, and I don't want this to be public. I want to create here another field, which is the invitation field. And I will be asking the user to introduce a specific code. And if the code is not validated, and then the user will be not created and the user will not be able to access to the inside of the website. So lucky for us, I have implemented this before. So we are going to follow workflow that has been created in another project. I have here the commit. Let's open this commit in code, Visual Code. I hope this works. Where is it? Not sure. Okay, check on the table. Open the code. Starting good. Git so. Let's see. How to pipe. Git so to VS Code. Okay. What about this? Here we are. It's gonna tell them that this is a div. So what do we have here? Of course, we have a controller. Let's follow just the div as it is. The order is important, but just to have an overview, it's not really relevant. Of course, we have the controller that belongs to the admin scope. In my application, there is admin scope and front scope. The admin scope is me, who is administrating the website, and there's the front, which are the users. So in the admin scope, I can create invitations. This is one part of the administrator functionalities. Very straightforward. I can see all the invitations. I can create a new one. I can destroy. And here we have when the front user is created, this is in the front scope. We can see that this new change here, that now not only I am creating a front user in the new, well, in this case, I'm just giving the invitation ID, so it is shown in the form, in the registration form, so it is populated already if it's into the parameters. This will help us to create a invitation link that the user has to follow, and the invitation ID will be populated in the invitation form, in the invitation text field. When we create the invitation, when we create the front user, we set up this flag, required invitation. This is interesting because then the invitation is only required if the user is created through the front user controller, because the administration scope also can create front users, but I don't want the administrators to be forced to introduce an invitation. The administrators can create front users without this invitation validation. We will see later how this flag is used in the model. What else we have? We have, of course, a new parameter on the front users controller in the front scope. What do we have here? The front user model. We have the flag that we have seen used in the controller. We have a new relationship with the invitation model. When the user is destroyed, we are going to keep the invitation, but we are going to nullify the front user. Maybe it's better to put destroy. I think in my new version, I'm going to put destroy, so the invitation is destroyed. No, I'm going to keep nullify, so keep track of the invitation existence. Invitation available is a validation method, and this is what is doing the logic to figure it out if the invitation is available, and then we go through the creation process. You see that this validation is only on the creation, and only, and this is the important part, only if the required invitation flag is set. After commit, and only on create, we invalidate the invitation, so it's not used. It's not possible to be used anymore. Here, this is a util method to return the required invitation with a question mark. And this is another helper method. This is used for the view to render the invitation ID on the invitation ID field. And this is also to get this value from the field, from the form. And this is what we are checking, is this the validation, if we are checking if the invitation is valid. So if the invitation that I am loading is nil, or if the invitation is used, nil means that I haven't found it, and then I add an error to the errors from the model. And here, finally, when I have created the user, and if the invitation is not nil, and then I set the invitation as used. Here is the invitation model, also very simple. In all my projects, I'm using UID as the primary key. It is the relationship with the front user, and optional true, because it might be nil at the beginning. It's a scope, just to help her to find the proper invitation. And this is to order then in the index on the administration page. Here's the helper method to see if the invitation is used. And this is the method that we use to accept the invitation as already used. Here in the admin scope, we can see the index of the invitations. Here in the front, we can see the form to sign up a new user. And we see that a new field has been added to the form, which is the invitation ID. Here in the admin, in the menu, we can see, we can add a new element to manipulate the invitations. And here some locales and texts. And immigration to create the new invitations. You see that I am using UIDs as the primary key. Yeah, it's a relationship with the front user ID that is also a UID, and then a foreign key. Changes in the schema and the tests. So we have in admin scope, I test the controller. It's a very basic test with index, create valid, destroyed. And then in the front users, I create this new test, which is with invitation. So this is invalid because the invitation ID is nil, and then it's valid because I'm creating a new invitation. I create a new invitation and I add this invitation to the form. And then I see when I reload, I see that the invitation has been used and has been associated with this front user. The new factory. And then this is a model that is doing the workflow, validating the workflow of the invitation. This is all. So let's implement our code. We are going to do a lot of copy paste. I'm already foreseen. Let me see. This is in my project. Let's see that. Let me close this. We are going to need this. We close this. We go to our project folder. we assure that the Git is clean. So we can start doing stuff. This is my Visual Studio Code. Let's start for the administration scope, and let's start for the test. So if I go to the test, controller, administration, we have the front user, the post. This is part of my actual application. Let's create the controller test for the invitation. What I usually do, if I always have a basic test, and then for one of my models, and then I just copy it to my invitation. Then I have to do some replacement. And yes, it's not good because the post is going to also change the post calls, but we see that I set up an admin user, because if you are not in an admin user, you cannot access to these functions. There is a before action into every admin controller. So in the index, we see that we create 2 invitations, and we see that this template is rendered, and we receive this in the invitation assignation. The show, same thing, we get the invitation, the new for, the create invalid. So I just test that wherever there is a problem in the creation, I go back to the proper. This is what I was expecting. This is not right. This is post. So now we have to change this because the invitations has not title, for example. So I have to remove the title. Has no body. This has front user though. So the only thing that the invitations has is front user, but I don't have front user when I create. So I think when I create an invitation, I actually not giving any parameter. So maybe I can remove this. There is no possibility to create nothing in the creation. Edit. I don't think I'm gonna edit the invitations. So I'm gonna edit. No, yes, I'm gonna edit invitations because they have a name associated. Actually, yes. The invitations has a name, which is just to remember me which user was. Name. Invitation name. Just to remember which user I send this invitation to. So this is the creation. In the validation, I'm gonna check that the name is this name. I always use capitals in the text contents, just to see that this is actually what I'm trying to check, or just to know that this is not a important content of the test, but actually the value has to be compared later or something like this. So this is the edit. I can edit. I have an invalidation update. The new name. So this is not going to change because the invitation has failed. In this case, yes. The new name will be taken, and here this has to be the new name. Destroy. Yeah, I want to destroy invitations if I change my mind and I want this invitation to be used. So this is the invitations controller test. Everything is going to fail because we don't have views, we don't have model. But just for fun, let's see, it breaks everything. Okay, what do we have? Frozen object need. Yeah, this is, I think this is normally an error when the controller even doesn't exist. So it's trying to infer the name of the model based on the name of this test file. Let's create the controller in the admin, no, in the API, in the normal. Well, I'm gonna do the same trick. I'm gonna copy this controller. I'm gonna call invitations, and I'm gonna replace post invitation, and this for invitation. Let's see what we have. Require admin user? Yes. I want nobody wants. I want to access to this controller if it's not logged already as an administrator. Load invitation, same. So edit, update, destroy. Yes. Yeah, I have the invitation, the show, the new invitation, creation, invitation params. I'm gonna have to create all these locales. I have the book here. Maybe I was debugging something on the post controller. Update, this is good, destroy, invitation params, okay. What do I want in invitation params? I want the name only. Requires invitation, load invitation. Yeah, this controller is straightforward, it should work already. Let's go back to our test. Of course, still failing. What are some errors? Factory no register. This is easy to fix because I have a factory invitations too. I don't know if name is going to be required. If it's required, I should put it on the factory. I'm going to make it required, so it's going to be name. I'm going to use this fucker lorem sentence or count 3. Okay, this will solve this error. This also unutilized constants and invitation, so there is no model. Of course, let's create a model. Same thing, I'm gonna just take this model, I'm gonna copy invitation, then I replace. So it's handful because post has the same relationship, same primary key, takeable node, non-attachment, belongs to front user. Yeah, I'm gonna make it required and yeah, order recent. Of course, we don't have the migration, so it's gonna also complain. Let's see what errors are now happening. The table invitations is not there, so let's create this migration. Rise, generate migration, create invitations, and I'm gonna say name as a string and front user ID as a string also. We have to do a lot of manipulation in the creation of this migration, but unless we will have invitations, name, string, front user ID, unless we have 2 fields. But I'm gonna just copy it from some other migration. We have this migration. Yeah, there's a lot of things because the ID has to be false, and then I have to create a UID field, and I have to create a foreign key, and I don't know how to do this by memory. So what I do, I go for another similar one. Totally, I'm gonna take everything because this works perfectly. Yeah, there's many things. So, because for example, I have to put the ID false, so the ID is not created. I have to create all these settings for the UID, which is non nullable. There is a limit, so it's not a very big field. It's a unique and it's a primary key. Then I have the name. This is for only this, and then the timestamps. Front user column, front user, the foreign key. So we have this. Let's see. That's the way migrate. And then column front user ID doesn't exist in table. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah, front user ID. But also front user ID also has to have a limit here. Why not? Yeah. Why not giving also the limit? But I don't know if this have, because MySQL, which database that I'm using, has very specific limitations of predefined size. So it's bar char, or maybe it's a bar char of 36. Yeah, maybe the limit is going to be used. Maybe we can take later to see what table has been created in MySQL. All right. So let's see. Now it's going to fail, I think. Yeah, because the table has been created, so it's going to fail because the table is already existing. Yeah, I don't know if I can force. Don't know. Nice. Yeah, let's see which kind of field has been created. So you have two invitations here. Open structure. Yeah, it's about chart 36, so it's nice to put the limit. It's not able, yes. Yeah. So it's good to put the limit, less has some use. So let's go back to our terminal. Let's run the test again. Of our invitations controller test. More errors. No route. No file from user must exist. Why? Must exists. Really? Invitation belongs to front user. Validate. We have to put the optional true thing. Let's say this fixes the error of the front user must exists. We have a lot of no routes, which is expected. Let's go to our routes and let's create this new route. This is in the admin scope, and then we have resources, invitations. We want all the methods like index, show, create, update, destroy. Yes. So we don't need to put any limit to the route, to the resources routes. What do we have now? Now the template is missing. Yeah, templates is super tedious to create. The new, the show, the form, the list. So again, I'm gonna copy paste a previous template structure from our posts model. Okay, let's see if I find it quickly. So this is app, views, and then admin, and then post. So I'm gonna create this structure. I'm gonna go invitations, and then let's do some replace. So I'm gonna try to find all related to post. I'm gonna change it for invitation. Actually, I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna find this new functionality, which is preserve case. So also if it's lowercase, it's also replace it with lowercase. But where? Where? Not in every place, of course. Only in app, views, front. Okay, front, invitations. No? Up front, view front, posts, front. There's not a folder invitations? Bien. What is views admin? Oh, okay. I'm in the scope admin. So admin invitations. So this is only gonna replace on the invitations templates. Yeah, let's execute here. Let's say what is have been done. Post invitation. Let's check the form. So admin invitation, yes. Errors, invitation attributes, yes. From user. In the form, no. I don't want to modify the front user in the form. So title is name. Actually, and there is no body. So this is the form, actually just the name field. List. So this is the index, invitation UID, title, no, only name. And maybe the front user name. So the ID, the name, there's no labels, created at, okay, yeah, created that. Yeah. I want actually created at and use it at. Created that is gonna exist. But you said that my node is 6, so if it's existing, I render, and if not, I put this thing here, so it's not used. The front user, the same, it might exist. And then I put the name, and if not, I just put this. It's okay for the index, the edit. Some breadcrumbs. This is good. Bring us invitation, admin invitation. This is the same. Invitation text, edit text, and then the for, and then for the index, we have a new invitation button, and then is rendering the list partial we have been checking before. For the new is rendering the for we have been checking before, and the breadcrumbs will be the same. And then we have the show. Yeah, the show requires some changes, so it's not title, but name. Interesting that in the show there is not created at, but let's put it. Invitation name. Created at to S. Which format do we have? I think that the theme, no. Yeah, sort. And then we have the user that. User add, and the same thing here. That maybe exists or maybe not. So if it doesn't exist, we have to be sure that there's no error, and we just show a small dash. From user the same, it might exist or not. If it exists, we render the name, and if not, dash. We can edit, we can delete. Invitation body, this is not such a thing. Okay, we have the templates. Let's see, the views. Yeah. I missed this on the migration. Yeah, I have to put a t date data time used at. Let's keep this on the migration. Yeah. In order to do it again, let's do a redo. See if this works. Supposed to put it down. Everything has done in the previous migration and look like it worked. Okay, what do we miss at the front? Invitation path. What? Front login? Do you mean invitation list? It should not be front. Did I copy from the front templates? No. Let's see this invitation front. Okay, I don't know why in the post template is pushed to front. Maybe it's a bug in the post. This is list. Yeah, this should be admin. I don't have view tests, so it's not detecting these errors. As we are not working on the post, I'm gonna check here. I'm gonna do a mental note. I will fix it later. I don't want to mess up commit changes. Oh, what is this now? What are all these poltergeists happening now? Okay, this is the only error we have here. Let's run the test again. And yeah, we have the controller, but still we are not able to access it from our views. If we go to our views here, this is the front, but if we go to the admin scope, good. Let's start Rails. Here we are. Check the admin. I'm logged already. So I don't see here the invitations. So let's go to our menu. Admin menu must be here. Layouts. Yeah, here is the menu for the logged admin users. So we have post. As is very similar, we are gonna call invitations. See if this works. So we have invitations. And we have the list of invitations, new invitation, missing translation. We can fix this with this nice functionality, EDHN, and missing, all is missing. Yeah, here are all the missing ones. And to do it very quick, we are gonna do add missing. The test that it put is very generic, but I'm not interested in fixing it now for this tutorial. We just have to go from the locale and change this very ambiguous and generic text for more concrete ones. But if we run now this, yeah, I have the name. So this is for Juan, my friend, invitation. We create the invitation. We have the list. We can see the list here. This is for Juan. It's not used. What is this? Let's check. This is in the invitations list. The invitation list, we are using another format. Maybe I use also the second. Why not? But in the it's not working. So invitation created that. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. This is not data 10 dB. This is the long. So let's see. Yeah. Invitations. Right. So I think we can create a commit with all this we have done. Let's see what changes we have done. We have the menu change, the locales, more locales, the roads, the schema. More schema and the factory, and of course there's more new files that are not listed on the div. I'm gonna create a branch, call invitations. I'm gonna start creating commits here, but later we are gonna merge all of them in one. I mean workflow. Yeah, now we can see all the changes. Right. What else we can do? One thing we are missing is the models test. Let's say the post test. What do we have? We have some validations, the ID on creation, test the relationship. Yeah, we can just copy this invitation test, and we have done several times. Invitation, and then we change the post by invitation. The validations, okay. Should be valid? Yes. But if the name is nil and then not, and then there's nothing in the body, and even the front user, and then even if the front user is nil, also here is the front user is nil. So, but anyhow, let's test it. UID, the primary key, relationships. So we test the relationship with the front user. There is no tags. Let's see the test pass. Looks good. Let's make another small commit. Only test. What else? Now let's go back. Let's go to the front part, which is the most interesting one. Let's start again from the test. How do we test this? We have, let's start with the front user model test. That we have to check that on create, test with the on create address primary. So the creation has to fail if there is not any invitation associated. Test primary, test UID on create, primary key, test scope. Let's do it here. Def test on create fail if no invitation. How do we can do this? So we say front user equal factory bot create front user invitation ID nil, and then we have to say refuse from user valid. So it should not be valid. No fail, but invitation not required. So we say invitation is nil, but invitation required is false. And then this will work. Test create with proper invitation. So we create an invitation factory bot create invitation, and then we say the invitation ID is invitation, and then we say, yeah, I forgot to put the required invitation required true. Let's put invitation required true, because by default it's gonna be false. Where do we put it? Here, invitation required here. No file if no invitation, but invitation required. File if no invitation. Assert. Of course, this has no sense right now, because there is no, the model is not associated with invitation, there is no validation, but let's see. What do we have? The invitation ID is not there. So we have some helper methods in the previous implementation, and I'm sure I have a reason for that, so I'm going to keep it this structure front user. Front user included. There is not any here. Relationship are here. Has many. Has one or belongs to. Has one, no. Invitation. Dependent. Nullify. Then validate with password. New validate. Invitation. Yeah, let's go back to our diff. So first of all, how is called the helper method? Invitation required. I want to call it send to be current. Required. Okay, what is the model then? Front user RV. Here's the model. Required invitation. I like more invitation required. But again, let's be consistent. So we are going to call it required invitation. Front user. Front user test. Okay. What other things? It has one dependent nullify, yes, but invitation available. If required invitation. Yeah. So the validation methods invitation available on create only if required invitation. And the required invitation method returns required invitation, which is instance variable that we can access written and reading. invitation available. How is this method? Def invitation available. Yeah, let's check how we did it before. From user RB, looking for the model. Validation on creative after commit. After commit, we have to remember to set up this. And also, whenever I put the invitation ID, this is when it comes from the parameters, I have to initialize it. So let's copy all these things. Someone remember how to do column selection? I know this is some shortcut here on the left side. Here we are. No. Did it with the cursor at the end. So when I set the invitation ID, and also for the view, I'm gonna make another helper. If this exists, and find invitation, find by. If not existing, still is gonna be nil, no error, I think. So if the invitation is nil or is used, and then I send this error. Yeah, and then what else? After commit, no? We are missing an after commit. Let's put all the validations together, they are big. After commit. Use invitation. Let's do it by memory and then we check what we did before. Only on create. So what is this? Def use invitation. And then what we do is invitation exist. And then update. Or touch, no? I think touch exists, no? Use it, add. Let's see. Rails touch. Touch. Active record, persistence, yes. Yes, touch. Updates, Yeah, it will work. Let's see how do we did it here. After commit, use invitation on create, use invitation, return if nil. Yeah, the same. Use. Interesting. I have a specific method in invitation. With the front user. Yeah, I think this is better because it's not as simple as just updated the use. Yeah, let's do this also. Usually when I do this, what is happening is that there is a lot of iterations, and this is because I'm saving a lot of time just checking how I did it before, because of course this didn't came to me on the first shot. Was just seeing that I needed to do something else, so I have to create this method. Invitation. We have the method use def use exclamation mark because it's changing the model basically. And also it's gonna return an error if it's not working. Use from user, yes. I have to put it's there. So I think it's just update. What? You said add time now and from user. No? Let's see. This is what I did before. You set that time now. Yes. I have this available. Optional true. Yeah. There's a couple of things I want here for my invitation model, which is the helper method and the scope available. Let's put all the scopes together. Validation, you said add just nil. Yeah, because it's just here. If not, it will fail. What else? Do I have any special invitation tests here? Invitation. I don't even have an invitation test. Bad boy. Really? Surprise. But we are not bad boys now. We are gonna do it. So let's go to our model tests. As I never remember which are the class I have to use and the required, I copy this. You asked me to, already exist. You asked me to do Rails application from scratch one day. I think I'm not gonna be able, but I have my Rails skeleton very prepared with a lot of things. And then I just get inspiration from previous code. So let's test use it. Oops. So I have an invitation. This autocomplete suggestions is becoming a pain in the ass. It's a factory bot create invitation, and then by default is refute invitation use it, and then invitation you said that time now, and then okay, invitation use it, and then let's test the use method. So yeah, why not? So instead of doing this, I just do this. See, this works. Wrong number. Yeah, that's a good one. I need a front user. Front user factory bot create front user, and then you said front user. Another thing it does, assert another equal. Invitation from another thing that the use method does is associated with the front user. Looks like it works. Let's go back to our front user test. This will work, I think. Why not? Let's try. File invitation code is not found or is already used. Record invalid. Why? 36. No invitation. But it should not be that such an error, no? Because it's create. Yeah, I have to build. Test with proper invitation. This works. Yeah. It's back again. Just clean the console. Beautiful. So this is working. What I am missing? Of course, I am missing to change the form. and the controller. Yeah, the controller is the front user's controller, but not in the admin scope, but in the front scope, which is the one used by the front user. So we have here in the create, in the new, this is one thing. If the invitation ID is present, we take it. Front user params, no? Let's see the params that they associate, that they accept, also the invitation ID. And the front user. Ah, yeah. I have to say, let's not do it yet. Let's go to front user controller test. Because create invalid. Well, this is invalid because I just stuffed the valid method, so it's gonna fail. And the valid requires an invitation. So let's create the invitation. And then in the here, password confirmation. Invitation ID. Invitation. I don't know if I have to put the UID, but I have to put this properly named. What is gonna happen after this? Let's create front user. Let's check that the invitation has to be associated properly. Let's check that the invitation has changed. For example, we can say that assert invitation used and assert equal. We can say that the front user has been associated with this invitation. Invitation reload has to be current. Let's put parentheses. Current, no, I will say consistent. And then we need to do another create without valid invitation. So there is not invitation, and the invitation ID is nil, or it's nil or not present directly. So actually I have to end up like this. And maybe we can assert difference. We say front user count changed by 0. So there's not user created. Let's test. Yeah, so the only test failing is then without valid invitation, because it's actually creating the user. As you can see, it has changed the count, because this is easy to fix. Front user require invitation equals true. And let's see if this works. All right, parent missing, front user, the 62 in the front user controller. 62, what? Front user. Parent is missing, order is empty. Okay, what test? Get new. Why this is failing this now? this is nothing related to my changes, are they? Let's confirm. So I didn't make any commit, but are they it commit message invitation front workflow. We go to main. Let's check the test in main. Taking a while. This is really interesting. So it's not failing in main. Invitation. But it's failing here. All right. I know what is the problem. Because I'm requiring this in the controller, where before I was not. I mean, yeah, in the new, I am using the front user parameters, and before I was not using it. So how I did it, maybe I can just go to params directly, but then I have to go through all the, I have to do, this, but let's see how I did it previously. So this is no front users controller. Here. Params invitation. Params invitation ID, but not associated with front user. I think because in the new, the link is, so the ID is hard coded. It's not using Rails forms or nothing. But the problem is that if I have an error and I am redirected here, the ID is not going to be set. Or it's going to be set because it recovers all the parameters before. Yeah, let's also do this. So what is happening is that the invitation ID is going to come in a parameter of the URL. We have to see how it's done. Yeah, let's see with a more visual example why this is the case. So let's go back to our controller. Where are you? And let's use the direct thing. There's not any testing this, so it should not be any change. Okay, where are you? Where's the problem? It's not the constant front. Are you kidding me now? Are you kidding me right now? What are your problem? Controller test here. Tell me again. Tell me again. No, now you don't tell me, no? So this is, yeah. What and why is this link ID? In the view of the invitation in the admin scope, invitation in the show, we have to show here a link. So the administration can share this with the user. Do I put it here? Let's put it here. Invitation link. Yes, so what do we do here? invitation link. So where we want to go is to the front user new. That's the roads. I have the roads in this file. So front user new, front user, or front user new. Front post, new front user. Yeah. Let's do it again. So link to front new front URL, because this cannot be path, because it has to be the full URL. New front user invitation ID is equal to invitation UID, or like this. Let's see if this works. And again, I don't know why the link to has not overwritten functionality that if you only put a URL, it renders the URL and link to the URL. I'm gonna put also target blank. Let's see how this looks like. So maybe this is more understandable. So this is the, yeah, exactly. So this is the link we are gonna share with, actually the link to has exactly what I was looking for. Why the target is in the, why the target looks like it's a parameter. The target looks like it's a parameter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually it's doing not what I was expecting. It's actually linking to this same page with this parameter here. So now I have to duplicate this, as I was afraid for. Now it's a target. Yeah, and the link is actually linking the same as the test. So this is the link we are going to share with our user with the invitation ID here. Actually, if I click here, it's not working because there is no field. This happens when you don't have view tests. We have to go to the front users, to the form. We are going to put a new field which is going to be on top here. And it's going to be called introduce the invitation code. If you have it, if you are lucky to have it. Front user invitation ID. So let's try again. And the invitation for front user. Which is this question mark? I just invented? I think I just invented. I think I bring it from C#. Yeah, maybe here is like this, maybe. Yeah. So here is the invitation because it's coming from this parameter here. If I change the parameter, why? Why? Not you. Let's take in this parameter now. Oh, let me try. Oh, really? What? What? If I change the value and then you ignore, it can be because it doesn't exist. Wow. Yeah, it's actually trying to load it, and if it doesn't exist, it's not set. Well, it's a functionality. It's not a bug. It's a functionality. So you cannot give strange codes and then it's gonna appear here and it's gonna think the user that is valid, but it's not. I wanted to test if I have an error in the form. The invitation is still here. Nice. Yeah, these errors, format errors I have to fix on the template, but it's not part of the tutorial, so it's okay. All right, let's run all the tests because I lost track of what tests I have to run right now. It's gonna take some time. How much time we have been recording? 1 hour and 11 minutes. In the meantime, let's see if we have forgotten something from our previous code. Nothing here. Test on create if required invitation. He made all the tests in, I mean, when I say he, I see me on the past. Made the test in one only test method, which is also okay for me. Build, but the same was creating the same thing. In case one with an invitation already used. It's more compact. This is the way I'm gonna do it this way also. The only problem with this way of testing, I mean all the assertions in only one test, is that if one of the assertions fails, there is not information about the rest. I'm changing my opinion. With no invitation, I'm gonna do another test here with used invitation. So here's the invitation, used at time now. Invitation ID. Yeah. We can also make another only just a test unit test only for user invitations, but it's okay. We can also invitation ini. We just put a block like this. So how our test going? We have some locales missing, but looking very good. Rails are missing. No rails are missing. E18 and tasks are missing. I don't need to run all the tests again, but I want to see a very clean line before I commit. In the meantime, we can try the workflow. So if I am in admin, here I am admin, I have all these invitations. This is not used. This is for Juan. So I click here and I send this invitation to my friend. Hey, my friend, this is the invitation for registering my super nice website. Please follow it. So I can, I can put my email. No, sorry. This is my name. This is my email. Password. This password thing, I'm thinking that is super old school, the password. I think maybe we don't need passwords anymore. Either I integrate all the OAuth login mechanisms, or I just send a magic registration link to the email. I think it will work better than the password. Anyhow, let's put a password, which is going to be very secure. It's going to be this. And let's say confirm, create a front user. No. But I have created the user. And if I go here to my admin panel, I should see that, yes, it's used by Fernando. Maybe I can click here to the front user directly. So invitation, so front username, I don't put the front username, but I link, or better, I think it can be like this, admin. This is magic way to do URLs in Rails, which is not working. Yeah. Still I have to put the link to, and the invitation front username. Toma. Okay, what do we have wrong? Maybe we need some parentheses. It's better to put parentheses always. I think you save a lot of problem. Fernando. There we are. I go to friend user, yes. And I also here, let's copy this link to and also reproduce it in the list. From the only difference is that there is not at in the invitation because it's coming from a partial. Nice. Where are the tests going? Super clean. And we have all these changes. Invitation from what are the last changes we have done? Can I name it? It's not really relevant because I'm gonna squash all of changes. Yeah, we added some link and some text. Yeah. Last touch. So we have all these commits are relevant to invitation, and I'm gonna squash them. I just gonna squash until here. So what I do, I don't know if there's a better method. I will rebase interactive until this, and then I'm gonna rename this commit, and the rest of them I'm gonna, I think is fix up. It's like a squash, but keep only the previous commit local message. Okay. And then why did the editor to close? Didn't I? I have in the invitation workflow mechanisms. Invitation. How can I find this commit later? Because it's very convenient. Invitation workflow. Okay. Very small, but. And then we have this. And that's it. I'm gonna run the test again once, just to be ultra sure before I push to the origin repository. But it looks very good to me. The only test I can try is if I'm in front, I log out, and then I sign up, and then I try to register without invitation. Maybe with text example com. Oh, sorry. The password is the same. Password can contain username. Invitation code is not found or is already used. So it's working. Good job. Yeah. So this is the end of this video tutorial. I hope it's something useful for you. For me, for my pet project, when I put it in production, this helps me a lot because it feels to the people I send the invitation link like, oh, I am a VIP user here. I have an invitation code, so I should use it. No, it's not like, okay, register there. Everybody can register. No, only you can register because you have the invitation code that I created especially for you. So you better use it. So I think this creates a better, a small barrier for the registration in my pet project to the people. And also, it's easier for me from the admin panel. I can see the front user, but I can see also the invitations, which user I have sent an invitation and it's not responding, so maybe I can contact her or something and say, okay, do you want the invitation? Maybe not. Yeah. Thank you anyhow. This is all. Thank you for watching and see you next maybe. Bye bye.